Thursday, March the 26th. Anybody still out on the streets? Hopefully you are staying at home, self-quarantine, social distancing, getting the numbers down, right? I would say we can get through another 3 or 4 weeks. Hopefully, if you look at other patterns charts, it'll slowly start easing up. Now, the topic of my video is very simple. Over the years, many drivers have written to me. How do I get paid? For example, certain fees weren't reimbursed. Sometimes people take very long trips, rack up hours and hours of driving, supposed to get paid $200-300. And then afterwards, hour or two later, you're expecting that money, you're all excited, you've done the trip, and you don't get paid, right? This is a very common theme. Many drivers like myself that refer a lot of drivers, Uber will bend the law and do everything in their power not to pay you out. In this way, they free up millions and millions of dollars. Now, one specific driver got very creative, and we'll show you how he did it, right? The one thing that you want to do is you want to go and create your Siri, how are you? Abstract Echo, how are you? Ramil, how are you? Greetings to the Philippines. Good to see you. Vegas in the house. Alan L. Villasenor. The one thing you can truly do is, this is still the one you can see, I'm editing it here, is that you set up a Twitter account, and if you tweet at DKHOS, it'll show up. That basically means he's informed of your tweet, whether he reads it or not, but his marketing team, etc., they monitor the tweets, they see it, right? So, or let's say Tony West, you want to include him in the conversation, or what's trending today, hashtag Corona Villains. Once you're on Twitter and you have a Twitter account, I don't know how many people right now in the room have a Twitter account, but you will always see what words are trending, and then you can use those trending words in your tweet, where you restrict it to a certain amount of characters. They've obviously extended it now. Twitter has allowed you to make that message longer. So you can go there and, for example, make a short video on your phone. Hey, this is so-and-so. I didn't get paid on this trip. They owe me $320. Or like this, this guy did here very effectively. He was promised sick pay, wasn't getting it, needed the sick pay, and then he started calling out the CEO on Twitter. And that's very easy. You just include Dara in the conversation by adding an @ DKHOS, right? Or if you want to write a more pointed message, or if you want to write Tony West something, for example, you include him in the conversation at Tony West, which means this appears in their feed. They get to read it, right? Or their employers or their marketing team gets to read it. So this guy here got super creative. He just pounded them, right? And he called them out over and over again and said, listen, I'm sick. You're not paying me. I'm sick. You're not paying me. I'm sick. I haven't seen the money. I'm sick. You haven't paid me, right? Until it became so embarrassing for Dara and for the company that they quickly wired a check. It says here, an Uber driver who tested positive for coronavirus says the company didn't pay him the sick pay it had promised until he took it to Twitter to tell his story. Anytime you want to get things resolved, do you honestly think picking up the phone and calling 1-800-593-7069, waiting forever, and then you get somebody in on the Philippines? No. That line is designed to put you back in the hamster wheel. You get nothing resolved there, my friends, right? Some of the things you get resolved in the hub, Hubs are closed. So how do we get our money? We have this powerful tool. It's like a hammer, like the Thor hammer. It's called social media. So you go, if you have a Gmail account, you go and set yourself up on YouTube. Your login, your Gmail login, becomes your YouTube login. You make a video on your phone. Hey, this is so-and-so. Hey, Derek K. You still haven't paid my sick leave, blah, blah, blah. I've sent you 15 messages. You haven't responded. Is this how your company acts? Kind regards, Joey Jackson, right? And you put that video up there. Now you grab that video link. You go over, you tweet, you include Dara in the conversation, at DKHOS. Guess what? I have not been paid, right? And what you do there is then you add your YouTube link, which you uploaded from your phone, right? So there he has it. Their team has it. You're sending them a personal message. The whole world gets to see it. The public gets to see it. They are not taking care of the payments, right? So this here is embarrassing for the company that people are actually sick and dying. They're making it so difficult for the company the company is making it so difficult for the driver to get paid, right? They're sick, they're dying. We had an amazing driver yesterday who was infected by a passenger who was coughing up blood. He was a New York driver. He died the day before. A 17-year-old died. His father contracted it, a driver in Lancaster, California, and so on and so on and so on. The stories are going to accumulate. So if you can stop driving, please stop driving. Apparently 2 to 3 weeks time, best case scenario, maybe in May. If you filed for unemployment, and by the way, I have received hundreds and hundreds of emails and text messages. Yeah, I just want to let you know, I filed my unemployment, right? For example, let me read you Frank. Good news. I just finished filing for unemployment. I reply, awesome, proud of you. And he goes, thanks. When you do your video, mention my name on there. There we go. Frank, I just mentioned you. So Frank, one of many hundreds and thousands of drivers who's filing for unemployment. Apparently, don't get your hopes up too high. $600 per week, maximum 4 months. Let's do the math. If you're qualifying for $600 per week times 4, $2,400, right? Times a maximum of 4 months, $9,600. My suggestion is don't work for those 4 months, right? And then after 4 months, after this blows over, start working again. Allow that $9,600 to get you through those 4 months. Now, if you're in California or New York or New Jersey with super high rents, obviously that $9,600 is not going to go too far. But as long as it gets you through those 4 months, right? And again, where do I get this information from? I read an article. I'll go to that article just now. Well, let's do it right now. We'll jump back and forth between the article and Twitter, right? Have a little troll. Let's get rid of him. Bye-bye, arsehole. You know who you are. Flushed you. So gig workers could get unemployment benefits under the $2 trillion Senate stimulus bill, which was passed to them from the Congress. There it is. The Senate historic $2 trillion stimulus package will make history in one more way by providing some financial assistance to gig workers. Late last night, the Senate passed a $2 trillion stimulus bill in response to the COVID-19. It's part of the bill which makes its way to the House of Representatives for a vote this week. Gig workers would be eligible to apply for unemployment benefits. Additionally, the bill would provide $600 per week in federal assistance for unemployed workers for up to 4 months. Okay, there's some real numbers for the first time. I knew it's going to take 24 hours. I'm going to get some real numbers, right? So real numbers here. Oh, Sherelle, thanks for following me on Twitter. Yes. By the way, guys, Sherelle, if you can put my Twitter handle, people can follow me on Twitter. The more, the better. I operate on YouTube mainly, but I also operate on Facebook and Twitter. I try to use these social media channels to really get under their skin, to really push for change, right? And you can do the same. If you go back to this driver here, what did he do? He basically said, hey guys, I'm sick. You haven't paid me, right? And then Uber said earlier in March that it would compensate drivers and delivery workers diagnosed with COVID-19 or placed in mandatory quarantine. So he proves that, still they won't pay. This is the first case that I've heard that they've paid. So obviously this method of calling out Dara at DKHOS or Tony West at Tony West on Twitter seems to work, right? Because this driver was literally embarrassing him. Hey, I'm sick. You said you would pay. You haven't paid. Hey, I'm sick. You said you would pay sick drivers, but you haven't paid. And he said it over and over again. 3 drivers told CNET that they had difficulty getting the company to approve their compensation requests, right? These guys just do not want to pay out, right? It's got that $10 billion. He knows each month he has to pay for all the rentals of all the hubs. He has to still pay himself a salary, but God forbid he has to write a check or wire money to someone that is sick. Mimi says, I filed for unemployment here in Texas. Now I might have money to live on. That makes me happy. And my video, by the way, that I made, I know it was long, may have been a little bit boring, but it worked. I went through all 50 states. You have no idea. Overnight, almost 4,000 views. Overnight, several hundred emails. I filed. I'm glad for you if you filed, right? Because you deserve that $600 per week. You deserve unemployment for 4 months. You've broken your back, blood, sweat, and tears. You've done everything for this company. I want that $2,400 to end up in your account for 4 months in a row, right? So if you haven't done it, Rideshare 411, grab that link. He's there. How are you? And then make a video. Hey, by the way, guys, this is how you file unemployment in these 50 states. We went through all 50 states together. Well, Nifty 50's life, $600 on top of the $1,200. Slow down. Let's distinguish. If you're a gig worker and you can show and you can prove you're getting your unemployment, right, $600 per week. So they say for 4 months. If you are, let's say, a family and you have a job up to $75,000, I mean, you're employed, right? You're employed. You are a mother with 2 kids. You would be getting $1,200 and $500 for each kid. You'll be getting $2,200, right, per month. Pretty much maybe slightly less than the gig worker get. The gig worker apparently is supposed to get up to $600 a week, right? So it's not on top of the $1,200, right? You have to distinguish employer up to $75,000 or I think a combined income, whatever, $150,000, you qualify for the max, 2 times $1,200, $2,400 plus $500 per child. If you are a gig worker, you treat it in an entirely different way. If you are a small company like myself, where you have some drivers working, some people on the road, you're operating as an LLC, the government has assistance for small businesses. Right? My business is down, so I'll get assistance on that way, along that route, right? But I can't double, triple dip, right? I got to choose which route am I going, right? So gig workers, most of whom are independent contractors, have said companies aren't doing enough to protect their financial or physical health as the coronavirus pandemic upends business as usual, right? And then I'll tell you the story. Now, what you've seen in the last 2 weeks is people like myself, Dustin, Harry, pound, pound, pound Uber and Lyft relentlessly. I mean, I've done several videos a day for the last 2 weeks, pounding them over and over and over and over again. Pay up, you're not doing anything. Pay up, you're not doing anything. We're in dire straits. Pay up, you're not doing anything, right? You catering to investors, you're not catering to us. I know you guys are sick and tired of the record, but you know, I call the method death by 1,000 cuts. You got to keep on cutting them. You got to keep on whipping. You got to keep on whipping. It's not fun. It takes a lot of energy, but it has to be done because you then force them to act, right? So in the very final hour, makes a couple of calls, writes a letter. We've put relentless pressure on these politicians. He's making a couple of requests, and somehow we're in that. And we should be, because the government knows how important these drivers are, right? The government knows what roles, I would say, on the front line, nurses, doctors, hospitals, second line, as far as soldiers go, drivers, right? They understand our role. They understand how important we are for the economy. They know that under this independent contractor status, we've been left out. They know we're unhappy. We've been pounding these politicians over and over again in California. Finally, we got AB5. They weren't paying out on AB5. They were breaking the laws. They were misclassifying us, and we kept on pounding, video after video, social media, tweet, Facebook, boom, 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 all day long, every day. And, you know, they don't want to lose voters. Uber did not want to pay, so they diverted it and said, hey, government, bail them out. So hopefully in 2 to 3 weeks' time, the people that have already filed, have been several hundred emails that I've received, text messages, etc. Hey, I filed, and hopefully you get paid soon, right? So an Uber driver in San Francisco who tested positive for COVID-19 couldn't get the company to cover his sick pay as it had promised, until he called out the company's CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi, on Twitter, right? And I've been doing this relentlessly. Go to my Twitter account, right? Go to my Twitter account and see how I have been adding, right, these few little letters and words just to attach them to the conversation, right? Attaching them again and again and again to the conversation. So this appears in their feeds. So this is what this guy did. You haven't paid me. I'm sick. I'm waiting for the money. I'm waiting. What type of company are you? What type of company are you? And it started becoming embarrassing for Dara. And it started becoming embarrassing for Tony. So they probably had a call. I'm just playing out a scenario. Hey, Tony says, dude, we got to pay this guy. He's causing a lot of public damage there. Dara, wire him the money. Okay, so the driver told CNET he came into contact with 2 passengers who he believed might have had the coronavirus, one who had recently traveled to Taiwan and told the driver they had the coronavirus, and other who was coughing up blood on the way to hospital. Ouch. So he stopped accepting trips and went to get tested himself. He got a doctor's note ordering him to self-quarantine, and eventually tested positive for the new coronavirus. The driver also asked Uber to compensate him while he was forced off the road due to his sickness, according to CNET. Uber announced earlier in March that it would pay drivers and delivery workers who were diagnosed with COVID-19 and are placed in mandatory quarantine by public health officials. Uber said the payments would cover up to 14 days off, and the amount per day would be calculated based on how much drivers had earned in the past 6 months. However, the driver told CNET that in order to upload his doctor's note, he had to agree. So this is what pigs Tony West are. They actually come up with legal wording right? So if you want this money, guess what? However, the driver told CNET that in order to upload his doctor's note, he had to agree to onerous conditions like letting Uber collect personal information and acknowledging that payments wouldn't change his status as an independent contractor. So basically, hey, you want this money? You got to basically sign off on this and say, hey, you are an independent contractor. We don't have to treat you like an employee. That's holding the gun to someone's hand. That one should literally take this here, this text here, this anybody that can show me that they took this text here. I'll put the link afterwards and tweet it out and attach it to Tony West. Right? These are the pigs you're dealing with, right? Holding the gun to the driver's head and saying, well, okay, if we do pay you the money, you have to then agree to these conditions, legal verbiage written in. That's how fucking desperate they are. That prompted the driver to take his request to Twitter, where he described his experiences and mentioned Uber CEO Derek Ashrawi and Chief Legal Officer Tony West in a 24-tweet thread, right? And finally received a payment of $2,108 8 days later, right? So he had to basically go to Twitter and call out these two pigs and say, look at what these pigs are doing. They're not paying me, right? And they're forcing me to sign off on this legal language, shackling me, tying my hands. And he called these pigs out in a 24-tweet thread. And it worked. The money came. So, you want to talk about getting creative? That's what I'm saying. Bring the fight to social media. You guys, every single one of you. Robin has a Twitter account. I followed her, right? She's followed me. James, Jimmy, Gary, all of you, Mark, you all need Twitter accounts because, when push comes to shove and you're looking for your money, you do it the same way this guy did it. Just pound him, 24-tweet thread over and over and over again. He probably embarrassed these pigs because they said, oh, you got to sign off on this first. You got to admit that you are an independent contractor. No, the guy is dying. He needs the money. Wire the fucking money, Dara. Another driver, John Hoheisel, shared a similar experience telling CNET that Uber didn't respond until he tweeted at Andrew McDonald, Uber's senior vice president of rides. See, I outed that guy in media, right? I told these people what to do. I'm telling you, they're following instructions, right? Instructions that work. Remember how I called out Andrew McDonald? Right? I'll gain today, and I'll call out Katie Weitzman, and I'll be calling out Randall Heimovicki, and I'll be filing further cases with the California State Bar against these attorneys. I filed 2 already, and I will tweet them, and I will broadcast them, and I will tell them that 3 million drivers are coming for them, right? And by the way, go and file at unemployment. You get paid for 4 months. Fuck these guys. Take that money from the state. You've paid it in. That's money that you are owed, right? You've paid so much in taxes. Go and get paid for 4 months. Get off Uber and Lyft and give them the royal middle finger, right? The royal middle finger. And if you get sick, right, you do it the same way. If you look at my tweet thread this morning, I probably blasted out 15 tweets at these guys, including them in the conversation, right? We are coming for you. And I've had hundreds. I had the senior attorney and his marketing team on the call yesterday and said, Torsten, whatever you are doing there on social media, that people are signing up with us. We're very, very grateful. What do we owe you? I said, listen, you don't owe me anything. Get the money to the drivers, right? Use your legal skills. use your company and file all day long against Uber and Lyft. And in that equation, help me get my few $100,000 back, right? Take my case to the court or to arbitration and hold the gun on their head and say, pay, right? Because they owe me a lot of money that they've stolen from me and many, many other people's and from you, right? As Ray 818 SF says, Uber is full of bullshit, right? So they've created this culture. They have screwed us over. They have showed us in every way who they are, pure evil. The guy is sick and dying and they won't wire the money. What does the guy have to do? He has to go and do a 24 tweet thread against Dara and Tony to get paid. What did Tony West do in his legal department? He's trying to bind the guy's hands and say, no, you've got to sign this legal document first, right? Before we pay you out, which says you promise to remain an independent contractor and you don't qualify for any further rights. Fuck you, Tony West. Double. Fucking pig. And then you know what? Let me tell, I hope Tony West is listening, right? There's a picture on his Twitter feed where he is in Mandela's cell, Nelson Mandela's cell, right? This guy over here, pretending to be all ethical, right, has the audacity to go and stand in that person's cell. I worked for the man. I worked for Nelson Mandela. I worked for his daughter, Zinzi and Zindiwe. I know who he is, right? I'm here fighting for the drivers. I have been in that cell. I have that same photo, Tony West. But you don't deserve to stand in that cell. You don't even deserve to be in the presence of Nelson Mandela, because Nelson Mandela would have never, ever stood for what you are doing. Nelson Mandela stood up for his people and fought for his people and fought for their vote. Very, very unlike what Tony West is doing, right? So you're talking the exact opposite DNA. I know Nelson Mandela. I've been around him many a times. I've been around his daughters. I've traveled with his grandchildren through all the US states, right? You ask Senator Rodney Ellis, right, what I did in conjunction with the United States for the Nelson Mandela's Children Foundation. And then you have a crook. You have a person like Tony West who screws the laws, who doesn't abide by the laws, who F's over drivers, has the audacity to stand in that man's cell and have a picture holding onto the bars looking out in Robben Island, right? You know, I know where you were, Tony West, but you don't deserve to be in that cell because you're not of the same DNA as Nelson Mandela. You never will be. You never will be. And if a guy like Nelson, who died at 93 or 94, you know, if I could have written a letter to his grandchildren or to his daughters and say, hey, here in America, we're trying to fight for African Americans, whites, Latinos, drivers, right? You know, I would just try to out this guy. I would just try to out and just tell Nelson Mandela what a piece of crap, what a piece of horseshit this person is, right? Because you truly, truly do not deserve to be on that island just off Cape Town in his cell on Robben Island, right? Pretending you're like the liberator, pretending you're fighting for freedom, pretending you're a man of Nelson Mandela. You're not. You're the lowest trash. You're getting paid too much, and you're screwing over, you're misclassifying, and you're hurting drivers, and you have blood on your hands with this coronavirus because you're even forcing this guy who's desperately trying to get paid, desperately trying to get that $2,000. He's sick. He has COVID. He had a person in the car, blood all over him, coughing. He gets infected, and he's crying out for that $2,100. If Nelson Mandela knew how Tony West treated this driver, he would say, shame on you, Tony West. You will never, Tony West, you will never, mark my words. I've worked with the man. I know the man. Right, I went over to the funeral. You will never, ever be a Nelson Mandela. You will never, ever even follow in his footsteps. And shame on you for even putting your feet in his cell in Robben Island, taking that photo. I will make a video. I will make a video of that, right? and I will make it directly at Tony West. So he understands what I mean, right? That he will never, ever be like Nelson Mandela. Never. He pretends he does. He goes and bends the law. He's hurting his own brothers and sisters. He's hurting his own African-American brothers out there. I know I have many African-American followers in my channel, right, that I fight for. And I know, having worked for that family, what he fought for. I know what Nelson Mandela fought for. I know what Zedza Dlamini fought for. I know what Winnie Mandela fought for. I knew what Zinzi Mandela fought for. I knew what Zindiwe Mandela fought for. They fought for a complete different cause than Tony West did. Tony West will never be one of those people. Tony West will never be one of those heroes. He will go down as a shameless person who screwed over millions and millions of drivers. Enough said. I don't have to say more. There's overwhelming demand for compensation, said Sergio Avidian, senior contributor at the Rideshare Guy, Harry's channel. Fantastic. See Harry pounding them in the article. An industry news site for Uber and Lyft drivers. It's hit and miss at best, but Uber's system seems to be handling requests a little better than competitors. Maybe he's sticking up for Uber by saying that, but what he's essentially saying is that maybe Uber is handling these cases a little bit better than Lyft is. I don't think so, Harry. I mean, I love Harry. He emails me. I'm just saying his name is mentioned there. I would say they equally don't fight for the driver, right? If this guy has to literally beg, get down on his knees and write 24 tweets, please pay me, I'm dying. The stories told to CNET echo criticism Uber has faced in the UK, where a Labour group told Business Insider that due to a lack of access to testing, the company's policy had made it practically impossible for drivers to claim funds. We are always working to help keep everyone who uses Uber safe. We have a dedicated global team guided by the advice of a consulting public health expert working to respond in every market where we operate around the world. We remain in close contact with local health authorities and will continue to follow their guidance to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. Uber said in a statement to Business Insider. Let me just tell you, that entire paragraph is one fat lie, and I can prove why, right? Here it is. We will not travel, executives, but they need to go and work, right? That is the biggest and fattest lie I've ever heard, that you are working with public health experts to keep drivers safe. No, your attitude is go out there, drive, get sick. If you get sick and need money, we will not pay you. Let me repeat that, ladies and gentlemen. Their attitude, this here is one fat lie, right? Their attitude is go out there, get those trips, keep on bringing the money while we self-quarantine, while we pay ourselves those supersonic salaries. Go out there, get the money, right? And then if you do get sick, go and turn to that public health organization, put in a request, and maybe we will pay you out. Bottom line is you haven't been paying people out. You have to turn to Twitter. You have to wage a war on social media with Uber and Lyft to get paid. And I know that war because I'm in that war with them. And I know it works because I've had these attorneys on the phone personally, right? I have their text messages and email personally from them. They know my channel. They've said that, right? I've repeated this many times. And they know we are unhappy. Then I get a chance to speak for 90 minutes and say, here's why we're unhappy. This is what needs to change. Do they listen? No. They allow you to talk, right? To vent. Obviously, I'm venting on behalf of the drivers, but nothing changes, right? So what you got to do is you got to take the fucking fight to these guys. You guys have to all open up your Twitter accounts, open up your Facebook accounts, open up your YouTube accounts, and bring the battle to them. It's the only thing that works, my friends, right? And I know it works because I've received the personal calls. I've received calls personally from Uber, right? Gig workers transporting passengers and food for platforms like Uber, Lyft, Instacart, and others have been at an especially high risk of exposure to the coronavirus, given the increased exposure to recent travelers, medical workers, or passengers going to the hospital and people in general. My friends, you do not want to come into contact with these people in these times, March the 26th. You're far better off. Go and look at that video I made yesterday for all 50 states. Find your state, follow that link, and start filing for unemployment. Best case scenario, $600 per week times 4 weeks, $2,400 per month, maximum 4 months. $2,400 per month, $600 per week times 4 weeks times 4 months is $9,600. That's the one thing I love. I'm good at math. I could do math like that. People are sitting on their calculator adding up numbers. I say, boop, that's the number. My brain, boom, 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 boom. Always, since a little kid, been training my brain every single day with numbers. I run numbers and calculations through my head, percentages, multiplications, additives, subtractions, etc., to get numbers. So it's a great way of keeping your brain active, right? So let me dive into the room. I apologize. I know there's a lot of wording going out there. Greedy Dara, says someone. Mark Rout, let me check to see if Uber delivered my sanitation kit. Nope, you go to that empty post box every day. It won't arrive. Scott Tucker, well, I'm only driving till my rest is paid because no relief from my landlord. Real Rideshare Story says, where's our hand sanitizer and wipes? Go. Let's start getting on Twitter right now. Let's go. Where are our sanitizers and wipes? Go and write it to them right now. Go on. If you don't have a Twitter account, I challenge you right here and now. Go and set up your. Where is the sanitizer and the hand wipes? Right. Just go. I mean, pound it. Everybody go there and write. Where are our kits? Where are these kits that you promised us? Right. Promises. No deliveries by Uber. Elias, Compton in the house. YM says, keep taking from the drivers and know this will cost the company much more. Do they even realize, and that's 100% a true statement, do they realize what the big picture looks like? You screw over the driver, you find a way of screwing over the driver, you're finding a way of forcing the driver to abide by your legal language in order for him to receive his $2,100 coronavirus pay. You screwing, misclassifying, screwing over, misclassifying. Eventually, my friend, that pressure cooker, boom, the lid goes off and the people turn on you. The harm these people are doing to the company in the next few months cannot even be calculated. People will all go file unemployment. People are so sick and tired, right, of the treatment that they're receiving. And they're like, that's it. If I'm getting a check, show me the money. I deserve the money right now. I have worked like crazy, right? Desmond Embrack, Atlanta in the house. People, thumbs up all day. Let's go get 200 thumbs up. Thank you, my friend. Let's pump it up, that 44. Let's get my stock rising. We're on 45. Anybody 45 for the verse? And 45 in the front row, going for the verse. 46 in the back row. 46 for the first, 46 for the first, 46 for the second. 46 for the second. Anybody takers on 47? Anybody offering their 47? Anybody in the front? 47? 47 we got. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the 47 bid. 47 for the first, 47 in the front row, 47. We're going to go 51 in the back, 51 in the back, middle row, 51 for the first, 51 for the first. Anybody willing to offer 52 likes for this feed? Anybody willing? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. 53. Cool. Keep it pumping up. Anyway, let's continue. But many are staying on the road despite the health risks because they need the money, right? So my request to you is file the unemployment right now. And let's say in 2 to 3 weeks, that first check arrives. Let's just say Hopeful wishes, it's $600. At that moment, my friends, you stop, right? And if you can bridge the next few weeks without driving, because your health is truly on the line, right? I mean, really, going out there right now, Russian roulette, right? You don't want to do it, folks. But many are staying on the road despite the health risks because they need the money. And as an independent contractor, most don't have access to the same sick pay benefits that full-time employees at companies like Uber typically enjoy. Still, with the Uber ridership tanking as much as 50% in cities like Seattle, believe me, it's way worse than 50%. Jason, 600 ain't crap. You're right. It is. It's change. It's not much at all, right? Drivers are between a hard place and a rock. Be broke and be sick, or be broke and healthy. It's a powerful statement. Let me read that to you again. Drivers are between a hard place and a rock. Be broke and be sick, or be broke and be healthy, right? So do we deserve help in this 2 trillion stimulus? Absolutely we do. Absolutely we do, because we've done everything for these people, right? We've made them the money, we've kept them safe, and we've kept transportation going. And by the way, Tony, it's a transportation company, not a tech company. Just need to remind you. So another one here at Tony West on Twitter. Hey, this is a on Twitter. Hey, Tony West, it's a transportation company. Don't try and shelve us and put us into a category of a tech company so that you don't have to give us all these rights, privileges, payments, right? See what I mean? You got to take the battle. Marcus Suarez got to take the battle on social media. He says, can you file for Uber even if you have a full-time job? No, if you have a full-time job and if you're still working and getting paid on that full-time job, no. But if you laid off on that full-time job, right, you may want to look at that. Do I file for unemployment because I can't do that full-time job anymore? Or, are you, have you been let go? Have you stopped working on the full-time job and on the rideshare channel? And on the rideshare platform? You got to make a choice then what you file for. You can't literally double dip here. But mom, I want crypto says, do your own research. That is a half a sentence. Do your own research on this and this and this and this. Finish. I like complete sentences in my live stream. People know that, right? Drives me nuts when people just do like, oh, do your research. Well, do your research on this and this and this, and you will find that and that and that. Complete, start complete. Dennis Torres, what's going to be my title since SS said self-employed don't qualify? So are you self-employed because you have a separate company, or are you telling them that you are self-employed as a driver? You're employed as a driver. You're employed by Uber. That's how you would classify yourself. Not as self-employed means you have your own company. You have your LLC. You do your papers. You do your W-2s, etc. Blah blah blah. You do your tax returns. If that shuts down, if you are a small company, there is a stimulus package. I believe it's about $300 billion of the 2 trillion that has been set aside for small business. Maybe you qualify for that. Look into it in California. Or Uber is what you do. That's your full-time job. You think that you're self-employed. You're not really, right? But now what you're doing is you're forcing them to look at you as an employee. So you at least get that $600 per week. And by the way, I made a video yesterday. I don't know who saw it, hands up or thumbs up. That video that I made where the document that you fill out, 6 pages, I went through it. There were 37 questions in it, 6 pages where California is helping you, with this document to push you from misclassified independent contractor to employer so that you get these privileges. Right now, you got to ask yourself, can I get through the next 4 months? Can I get through? Right? If not, I would immediately start and unraveling that misclassification, tell the state who you are, right? And that you need help, right? So no matter what you do, you have to file for unemployment as a gig worker. It doesn't matter which state, whether you're in Arkansas, whether you're in Florida, Colorado, Utah, doesn't matter which state, you have to file for unemployment to get access to that money. Does that make sense? If you are an employer by a company, you qualify for the $1,200 plus $500 per child, right? You show me where you can double dip, where you can file for unemployment because you're a worker on the one side, and then you also do the Uber job where you're an independent contractor. You show me where you can double dip. You bring me the wording, but Mom, I'm challenging you right here, right now, to bring that wording into that channel. Checks could come anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. Some news channels report, some channels report latest May. Senebobo, you were asleep. I already made the vitamins video yesterday. I put it all out there. I discussed it, all in that feed. You were not there. So I'm not going to do it again. I've done it twice. One time last week, one time yesterday, because you asked me to do it. It's there. Go and check in yesterday's videos. You will find it. Old man in lawn chair. Can I still drive after getting the $600 a week? No, you can't, because you're filing for unemployment. This is about, you can't double dip and get greedy here, my friend. This is about your health. You're stopping to work because of your health, right? You know that you qualify under gig worker law now because you're written into that stimulus. Now this guy here, old man in the lawn chair, wants to take his lawn chair and get out there and drive. Double dipping, my friend. Wouldn't do it. Lorenzo Davis. Question. My friends want to know, can he collect unemployment even though he gets SSI disability and only drive an Uber less than part-time? I don't know. You'd have to get on the phone. There's a phone line for that state. I'm not one of these workers. I don't work for the state and answer those type of calls. That type of call, go to my video yesterday. You will see. You get help through that website. You can call them, ask the tough questions. Hey, I get this and this currently from the state. I am an Uber driver, a gig driver. Help me out. What do I get? Leo Casamanto, 100%, my friend. 100%. If you guys want results, I just showed you, bring it to social media like I have, right? Bring it to social media. This is how we get results in social media. I am so happy for that guy that he did not sign off, right? That he did not sign off on that documents and get his hands tied by Tony West in order to get his $2,100. The guy had integrity and morals, and turned to Twitter and brought the battle to them. There, Dr. Evil. By the way, in yesterday's feed, we came up with an amazing hashtag. I'm already printing shirts. You like? Watch me make the video first. It's gonna be such an amazing video. I'm gonna have that shirt on. It's gonna be one of my best videos. Trust me on this one. All right, my friends. I want to get out of here. We're on 62 thumbs up. Still have a lot of other stuff to share with you. Don't want to do it all at once. We'll do it in bits and pieces and parts. We're on 68. I know we can get to 70. Let's bump it up to 70. Thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, if you have not filed for unemployment, look at yesterday's video. I go through all 50 states. I leave the links. If you are in California, you've got a lot of different directions you can go. You can go to the law firm Potter Handy. I put the link in there. You can go and collect big time. That's based on the last 4 years, right? If you want to file for employment as a gig worker, as they say today, it's $600 per week times 4 weeks, okay, $2,400 per month, maximum 4 months. 24 times 4, $9,600 is the max, right? But if you have been misclassified and you want to join that lawsuit, go back a few videos, go through that damages calculator, reach out to Potter Handy and get damages for the last 4 years. What I want to see is money in your pockets for the last 4 years, as well as 4 months unemployment. Why? Because you have paid into the system. These are your tax dollars that you're basically living off on right now, right? Clyde, I am super proud of you. You said file today in Indiana. Whoop, whoop. See, he did it. Went on the website, did it. Vegas Rideshare 888. Unemployment is an assistance, not a career. It is an assistance. Right now, you wouldn't call this assistance, right? Or do you want to go out there and assist coronavirus and spread it? You want to back off, my friend. You want to practice social distancing and you want to quarantine. So it's definitely not a career. It is a check that you deserve in these times for being on the front lines. I call it danger pay, right? So let's not spin this in the wrong direction. Mark Routen. Rex Righteous, you can go on that link. You can call them to get some help, some direction. And then there's the online link. But do it today or do it yesterday. Don't do it tomorrow. Ziggy 007. No, it's not just for California drivers, Ziggy. It's for all drivers, for every single state, right? Go back to my video from yesterday. Well, fake money, I mean, bailout after bailout. If you can run a company and know that you're always going to get bailed out, I mean, I don't know. Hey, I'm going to run a company. If it screws up, I'm going to get bailed out. If I run an airline and I screw it up, I'm going to get bailed out. If I run an auto company and we mess it up, we get bailed out. If we run a mortgage company and we screw it up, we get bailed out. Looks like this is a pretty typical thing here. Big corporations always get bailed out and bailed. As long as you got these guys, Republicans and senators going to bat for you, trust me, you'll get bailed out. As long as you keep on wiring the senator checks and the Congress checks as a big corporation, you will get your bailout money. Don't worry about it. Terence Pacheco, thank you. I filed for unemployment with RGI's job, checking up on it now. Whoop, whoop. Terence did it. Love it. Oh, Sene Bobo, you way too involved with your politics, man. I would rather want you to be more solution oriented and a little bit more positive instead of coming with one-liners saying like it sounds like socialism to me. You bitch on the one side when you don't get it, and when you do get it, you still keep on bitching. Ay, 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 ay. Good slap. Anyway, James Skidmore, if the banks and auto companies get assistance, why can't we get it too? 100% correct. Wicked hustle guy, capitalism for the people and socialism for the corporations. Best government and company can buy. Foops Gaming. I worked last couple weeks of December only for 2019, but I didn't file my taxes. Can I still file unemployment? That, my friend, I'm not going to answer. I would say you get onto that helpline that I gave you for the 50 states. Yeah, well, for the rich, yeah. The rich definitely take care of the rich. No doubt about it, Sene. All right, friends. 55 minutes. I think we can make it to 60. I think I can hang in for another 5 minutes. And we're on 78. Let's try and get it to 90. 90 thumbs up. Foobs Gaming, what's the number? Look at my video 1 or 2 back where I talk about how the 50 states, how gig workers in the 50 states can file. Go to that video. It's all there. Right there. Everything's right there. We're on 79. Yassine is in the house. How are you, Yassine? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're taking care of the family. You should be good, Foobs Gaming. You should be good. I would do it. Right? Doesn't cost you anything trying. You've got the time. You're in front of your computer. You're hopefully quarantined. You've got the time. Jump on the internet. John Bloxham, thank you. James Skidmore, GOAT. Wicked Hustle Guy says, with the downtime, can we get the name of the other channel? I need something to listen to at work. I love it. I'll just email me and I'll send it to you. I appreciate that. I need to clock up hours on that one because I want to get a second channel going, right? And with Uber, with Uber. My brain is so much on Uber. With YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 hours, watched hours, right? In order to qualify for a paid channel. To give you an idea, in the last 28 days, I've been very active on YouTube. There have been 1,015,000 watched minutes on my channel. If you divide that by 60, that's about 16,000 something hours. That's a lot. 16,000 something hours of watching time. People have been watching my channel in the last 28 days. Did some very basic math there, right? So I need to achieve the same on the other channel. So by you guys going over there, many have subscribed, many have already started watching those videos. If you want the link to that one, just say, hey, Right Here Professor, send me that link, go and subscribe. I'd be super, super grateful. And then just randomly watch some of those videos, right? Yassine, you're doing the right thing, my friend. Yassine says, I'm not driving for Uber for the last month. I don't feel safe. Your health, your safety, your family comes first. It's not worth any dollar amount if somebody gets sick and dies. Seriously. I'm just stating as well, Sene, Bobo. When you say no bitching over here, just stating. That's not stating. That's making political statements. This is not a political channel, right? This is not pointing fingers at one party or saying that Republicans are wrong or that Democrats are wrong, right? This is not what this channel is about. You can go join other political channels if you want to. If you have specific political beliefs, go and join another channel. This channel here, my friend, is about rideshare. Get that straight. Otherwise, we're off to a very, very bad start, you and I. Just saying. That's how I roll. So, Anubis Swift, sister of Taylor Swift. Since they track your hours, it's probably going to be some threshold for actual drivers versus dabblers, or a matching of whatever your 3-month average is. Otherwise, everyone who signed up will be coming out the woods. Interesting. Interesting statement. Ukaman's in the house. Having a brewski on the porch. Good for you, my friend. Robin Reneth. Dr. Fauci announced today to be prepared for the second round. Be prepared. It's like a boxing match, right? This is like a 15-round fight. And hopefully you're still standing after 15 rounds. Boom, boom, ding, ding, round 3, coronavirus. Senebobo. I'm not getting gangster on you, Senebobo. I'm just saying, leave politics out of this channel and you and I will get on well. But if you want to bring your political beliefs in here, it's not the playground to be in. Okay, let's keep it Business, ideas, motivation, rideshare. Politics are out. I try to not get involved in politics. I'd lose a lot of subscribers if I did get involved in politics. I challenge both those parties to get things resolved, to get a stimulus package through for drivers. And that takes the participation of Republicans and Democrats alike, right, to get your checks. So no finger pointing. James Skidmore, almost time to flush. No, we'll never flush Sene Bobo. He's a good guy. I like him. Not everything is not political. No. My relationship with my fiance is not political. Your relationship with your children is not political. So I don't buy that statement where you say everything is political. I'm not buying it, Sene. I'm giving you a hard time. You know, I like to rumble a little bit in this channel, but I'm with you. Sene Bobo is always welcome here. He's a long-time friend. Today, we're just having a little bit of a sparring session, him and I. But that's cool. Abel says, in regards to your video and form, is there a difference between the online UI form and the registration? Oh, that form that I showed you, that's just for misclassification. That's to accelerate, right, you being seen as an employer. Regardless of that form, my friend, you can file for the unemployment, for the UI. You can get that UI process going yesterday. The other thing is a far bigger picture. So what you're doing there is with that 6-page form is that you are forced, the state is saying, here, use these forms. We're giving them to you. They're helping you. They're literally helping you. Take these forms, fill them out, bring them in so that we can take that misclassification and classify you correctly. Once you are classified, now you qualify for years and years, I believe 4 years of damages, all your hours that you've put in, averages per week, blah, blah, blah. Believe me, that dollar figure will be far, 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 far higher than you ever earned as an independent contractor. And basically, it's the same process that these class action attorneys are doing for you. They're going back 4 years. They are bringing all the damages, right, and saying, okay, well, you've earned X as an independent contractor. We're going to go in now and file a suit against Uber and Lyft for you, right, because we say that you should be getting ABC per hour. We're doing the calculation. Huge discrepancy in pay, money, rights, et cetera, that you should have received. The attorneys take their little portion out of it, and then you get your check, right? I've seen people get $7,000 checks, $8,000 checks, $5,000 checks, $3,000 checks, $2,000 checks, right? So those are two different things that you can work on. If you're in California, I would work on that yesterday. Unemployment, one direction, misclassification with an attorney, with Potter handy in California, the other direction. Get the money back. People just don't know how. It takes like channels and videos to guide you to those links. Once you're at those links, I'm not going to do the work for you. You get on there, you fill it out, you submit it. All right, my friends, we've hit the hour mark. I'm 4 short of the 90. Can I get 4 more? Abel, you are absolutely welcome. Terrence, life will beat you down to your knees and keep you there if you let it. Correct. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. I love that. That's how winning is done. Rocky. Beautiful. Can I use that quote in my next video? Thank you for sharing. Cool. Yassine, have a good day. We're on 91. I'm happy. I'm out of here. I'm hungry. I need a coffee. And I will see you guys later today for another wonderful live stream with my friends. Franklin, have a good day. Old Man and Lawn Chair, have a good day. Senator Bobo, have an amazing day. Mark Roughton, have an amazing day. James, have a great day. Jana, current status, LAX 8690 cars available. Wow. Robin, have a fantastic day. Terrence, Yassine, all of you. I appreciate you. Stay safe. Remember, social distancing. Be careful what you touch. Use paper, use rags, use those plastic gloves, get that disinfectant. Whatever you can do, my friends, to stay safe. Sherelle, have a good one. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.